What's up, everyone? Thanks for tuning back to Ayub4life. I got a special guest with me. Shout out to RjLamont in the building.
What's the deal?
How you doing, man?
Man, chilling, enjoying this new year. Happy New Year to everybody.
Happy New Year's to you, man. How was 2019?
2019 was actually amazing. It was real amazing. I could say it's probably one of the best years I had since 2016. I say that. I feel like 17, 18 was kind of dry. 19 kind of got it back going. 20 about to be the new wave. I'm ready for 2020. It's all about big moves. Trying to make 50 million this year.
Nothing less.
No, for real, nothing less. I had like a goal of like 400,000, but I met someone and they was like, bro, that's you thinking too low, bro. You need to make 50 million.
Big artists you worked with in 2019 that you thought you wouldn't be working with them until 2025 or later in the career?
No, I ain't gonna say nothing like that. I've kind of been in the music game a long time, so pretty much majority of the industry kind of is familiar with me. Like majority of the major artists. I mean, I ain't gonna necessarily work with all of them, but if I walked in a room, I feel like at least 80% of artists that you probably listen to every day would at least acknowledge me and know who I was. But I mean, I could say I could tell you the biggest, some of my favorites that I worked with last year. I worked with YBN Amir. I worked with him for about 10 days, I want to say, out in LA. We did about 6 songs, and then when I came back home, I sent him some more beats, and he did about like 3 more.
How was that experience?
When I went to LA with him, it just made me realize like it's so much more life. Like it's not even that it's just so more life. It's just like I just appreciate the better things in life. Like the better things in life can be achieved, and it's not like a big deal to get to them. So just keep working hard. That's really the goal. What I learned from them is like just keep working. If you keep working, you'll always have nice shit.
Name some challenges you faced in 2019 that made you a little bit stronger going into 2020.
Oh, I won custody of my daughter in 2019, and I got my child support payments down to $0.00. That's the biggest challenge. Let's just pause for a second. Can we get a moment of silence? Let me say it again. I want custody of my daughter. Well, I want joint custody of my daughter. I ain't gonna just front like I got full custody. I want joint custody, which is 182 and a half days a year, which is unheard of from an African American male in any city, any county. And I got my child support payments down to $0. That's unheard from anybody. Like I ain't never heard anybody say they got their joint down to $0. But I mean, if you want to say like musically, I could say I don't care. Fuck that. That's better than music. That's the best thing ever. I'm gonna just leave it at that. Ashed in my drinking cup.
What or who inspired you to get into producing music?
I mean, I started making beats like 2020, 11 years ago. It had to be like 2009. 2009. Yeah, that's 11 years ago.
In the game for a while.
11 years ago. And so I kind of always knew I was gonna be in the music industry. I couldn't rap or sing, so I was like, I should probably either manage someone or make beats. I was more so leaning towards the managing side, and then my uncle had this computer, and someone had showed him how to make beats on, and I was like, is it easy? And he showed me, and his beats was whack though. His beats was whack as hell. Like his beats was trash. So when he would go to work, he went to work like regular people got a job. They come at home like 7, 8. So I would get out of school at like 2. I would just go to his house and just make beats from like 2 to like 8. And then he'd come home, he'd finish my beats like and make them sound like normal beats. But he was adding all his extra shit too and making my shit sound whack. But he was showing me how to finish a beat. And then after a while, I just picked the bone and started doing it myself. But I didn't get my first hit till I want to say 13 or 14. Around 13 or 14, I got like my first hit, and it was like, oh, I'm gonna just do this for the rest of my life. I'm straight.
Do you remember what artist it was?
Yeah, who's not gonna remember their first hit? My first hit was Lifestyle. I feel like Lifestyle kind of changed the Detroit culture. I feel like it's one of the first Detroit sounding songs to go mainstream. So that's why I be telling people like, I kind of helped like create the sound. Cause that was like one of the first like songs that was like real Detroit, like with the pianos and the Detroit sound. That was one of the first songs to be played on the radio. Besides like Doughboy Cash Out, but I mean like like from somewhere outside of Doughboy Cash Out. That was one of the first songs to be played on the radio like frequently, like all day. Like everyone know that song. I don't know why they don't know that song. Still to this day, that's probably one of my biggest songs. And then Dej Loaf hopped on the remix. Dex hopped on it. And then Dex passed right after he hopped on it. So that rest in peace Dex. But that kind of blew the song up even more. But then I did Dex right after I did that song. I was working with Dex at the same time. And I did Death on Me, which is all right. Between these 3 songs on my name, like I did Death on Me, then I did Whatever I Say. Between those 3 songs, bro, I could honestly say, bro, those are probably top 5 Detroit songs of the decade. Like literally, those 3 songs still get played to this day. So it's like, yeah, once I did those 3 songs, it was kind of like solidified. Like I could just do this.
What's some brand styles you like to wear?
Man, see, fashion is hard with me. Like I'm not real good at fashion. That shit, it's like I feel like my bitch should be the bad bitch. Like I don't know, but I'm just more so into like sweat shit. But with that being said, I learned like how to get around it and how to like finesse it. What you need to do is buy you some real motherfucking expensive ass gym shoes. I'm talking, you do not need to be wearing them motherfucking Jordans no more, RJ. If you wanna impress these motherfuckers and you ain't got no swag, just buy some $900 gym shoes, some Gucci, some Louis, some motherfucking Dolce & Gabbana, something that's nice. And if you want to switch it up, pull out some Yeezys, shit like that, like exclusive shit. So I learned to just stay towards like the hype shit, and then you'll be fine because you ain't gotta know what you really don't have to like know how to dress when you're wearing expensive shit, and you don't have to wait in line either, or you don't have to like go through resellers because this shit costs so much that everybody can't get it. And I fuck with the local brands too. Like, people give me free shit all the time, so I just wear that shit. Yeah.
What local brands do you?
Shout out to Fresh Society. They hooked me up with this pullover, had me fresh in this interview. You know, what up, Fresh Society? Got me together.
Any other local brands in your favor?
I fuck with all of them. You got Wealthy, a good brand. Detroit versus Everybody, a big one. And I just fuck with people. I feel like, to be honest, I ain't gonna say that on camera. I fuck with all of them.
Albums, mixtapes that you're working on that we should be ready for?
To start the year off, I feel like I started the year off right. Sada dropped the tape. He had about 10 songs on there. I had about 4 or 5. So that started the year off right. Then TJ X6 dropped a random mixtape. He had about like 8 songs on his. I had 1. So, no, he had about like 6 songs on his and I had 1. So, I feel like that's a good ratio. Those the first 2 CDs to drop this year. Man, I'm working on my CD. My CD about halfway done. My CD should be done by February. And yeah, that should be that's gonna be my big next move is my CD.
Shout out RjLamont. I appreciate you, man.
Gang, we in this bitch, man. With the buff song.